Welcome back. My name is Mark, joined tonight with Dan and Frank, talking about the Mets. A 3-3 week, took two out of three from the Padres, lost two out of three to the White Sox. Definitely some winnable games there in the weekend series with the White Sox, but overall, Dan, throw it to you first. What do you think about this week in Mets baseball?
Solid week overall. Again, like the guys you want to see do well did well. It was an awesome week for Carson Benge. McLean was awesome, but I mean, he had some help in the San Diego game, but like today in Chicago, he looked nasty. If you're looking at the standings, obviously you want better than 3-3, but overall, can't be too mad about this week.
Just some actual numbers there for Nolan and Carson. 12 innings and one run ball from Nolan this week. The ERA now sits at 3.21 on the year. I have no idea how he's not more prominent in the Rookie of the Year discussion. I feel like he's a complete afterthought. We were talking about Weatherholt and Stewart and Benge, and I feel like people don't realize that McLean's also a rookie during all this because it doesn't make any sense to me. But also Carson Benge hit 321 with two home runs, had a bunch of outfield assists showing off that crazy arm. So our rookies here were on some nice display as we're talking about.
All the positives that you want to see are positive and are being
I
taken away. So that's the saving grace of the second half of the season.
feel like the Rookie of the Year voting is going to look a lot different than like the narrative would make you believe. Like I feel like, I mean, we were texting about it earlier, how like Weatherholt has been the heavy favorite. I can see a world where the voting ends up just being like way different. Not even just him, just like everyone, just total shock from what we were expecting. But it's close race. There's four guys who legitimately have a solid beef being like, yeah, maybe I should win it.
With Weatherholt, this comes down to how much do you care about second base defense? Now, we don't watch this guy every day. We don't watch every Cardinals broadcast. He could be the best ever. The numbers kind of show that he is, but it's like when his offensive stats are that much worse than these other guys he's competing with, then how much do we really value or care about his second base defense?
Especially when a guy like Benge is making great plays in the field too. I mean, we've now seen a few web gem type of catches and throws from him. So while he's still kind of finding his footing out there, every indication is that he's having a pretty good season in the field and is that he continues to grow. And I think that's really the thing is like he's gotten so much better over the course of the season where Weatherholt kind of just was a great defender when he came in and is a great defender as opposed to guy who got better with the bat, guy who's gotten better on defense and just continues to play at a level moving forward. And I mean, it's rookie of the year, right? So it's got to be performance based. But I think the other question you have to ask is which one of these guys would you rather move forward? And I'm picking Carson Bench, but I don't want this clip to come back and, and haunt me in 10 years or whatever when Weatherholt has a Hall of Fame career.
No, it's a
But
good point. It's
Yeah.
a good point in terms of the trajectory where I think Weatherholt started a lot hotter and he's been on a skid where Bench has kind of heated up as the season's gone on. I feel like that should be taken into account with the voting because right now, if things kind of stay the way they are, it's a very light offensive profile here from Weatherholt. He's going to have a low 700s OPS, like a little under 20-ish home runs with like a 240 batting average. And to me, that doesn't really scream Rookie of the Year. And Frank, you touched on it. We're definitely biased, 100%. We want our guys to win. We're watching our guys every day. We're not watching Weatherholt and Sal Stewart. But on the Sal Stewart conversation, he's going to be like 30 plus and 100 plus, and I think that's tremendous value.
I'm fine with that.
If he wins, 100%. But he
If a
has
guy who hits 30 home runs wins, 100%. If you
in
hit 30
in
home
his rookie
runs, you're a
year.
shoe in.
In
Yeah,
his rookie
yeah.
year, he's 23 years old, whatever it might be, is his first real run of big league play. But he doesn't even look like a possible contender because his WAR is low because he's a first baseman. So it's all kind of screwy right now. Like I said, we'll have to wait and see how this goes. Maybe it's totally off and the Vegas and the books are wrong, but right now Weatherholt's the heavy favorite, and I feel like that should not be the case. Let's talk about Bo Bichette. He batted 333 with two home runs this week. Another really solid week for Bo. John Heyman, again with a random Mets tweet during the week, came out and said Bo is expected to not opt out. He'll stay with the Mets next year. I know we had a long conversation about this last week, but I think overall we're happy to hear if that is true that Bo's sticking around. I think that's fine. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, we all saw it. It took him a while to get adjusted to playing in New York. He is definitely not the first guy to have that issue, and I'm sure he won't be the last. But yeah, it'd be nice if he comes back next year, just comes in the spring, just pick up where he left off. And if you can have a typical Bo Bichette for most of the next season, then you're probably happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think an impending lockout definitely has something to do with that too.
Mhm.
He's going to be guaranteed that money for next year, and he can opt in again the year after that. So he's guaranteed $90 million in a very very weird time for baseball. You know what I mean? So now is the time where we start. You got to start
Mhm.
looking at that stuff. You know what I mean? I obviously don't want baseball to lock out, but right now it just feels like they're so far away, and it always feels like that. But I think that could be definitely another reason why Bo woke up
Mhm.
that morning and texted John Heyman that he was thinking about sticking around. So that was good.
Hey, maybe Bo hits 600 for the next 6 weeks, and then he says, "Hey, maybe I should opt out." We don't know.
I mean, he's had a sustained level of really good play now for a handful of months. We've
Mhm.
talked about the third base defense has been really, really strong. He made some nice plays in the White Sox series as well. He's a good player. He's a good player. He's probably, whatever happens here, he's probably overpaid, but that's not our problem. He's a good player. He'll bat third or fourth, wherever he bats for this team next year, and should be a really nice contributor.
It
Yeah.
shouldn't be a problem that he's overpaid. Truthfully, it shouldn't be. When
Mhm.
you have a payroll that looks like the way the Mets look, him making an extra $15 million
Yeah.
shouldn't be
Yeah.
the killer for a season.
Realistic, he's probably making about double what he would make on a regular deal. But again, there's no such thing as a bad short-term contract, especially with a team like the Mets where they have if it doesn't work out, you're out of it right away.
Mm,
It could be bad for a year, but you're not gonna be like, oh man, we have 6 more years of this
Yeah,
guy.
no, it's not a long-term commitment. If whatever happens, happens. It's fine. Moving on here, though, kind of like a two-part conversation. Starting off with AJ Ewing, it's been an extended struggle now over the last 30 games, batting 186, so he's definitely having a hard time. Still playing really solid center field defense. My kind of two-parter to this question or to this statement is Luis Robert in his last 15 games is batting 326 with 5 home runs. We've talked about the $20 million option here. I feel like at this point, you probably want to keep Robert around, if nothing else, as an insurance option here. I know we all love you, we're really high on him, but this is a long stretch now of struggling for him. If the case is he's not ready to be a full-time player next year, if he needs more time in AAA, I'm not saying that is the case, but if it were to happen, to have a Luis Robert as a fallback option is a really nice, or a fourth outfielder. I don't know what you guys think about that, but how do you feel?
Yeah, I think I said it last week, excuse me, when we were talking about this, that it was silly that they didn't trade him, and we had kind of come to the conclusion that they must have not gotten any type of offers. And now that they haven't traded him, they probably should opt into his deal in terms of Robert. And as for Ewing, I don't think I'm worried in the slightest right now. I know that that sounds kind of ridiculous to say, but this whole season is about finding out. We're not in a race, you know what I mean? So maybe he's not as good as we actually thought that he was, but let's find that out. You know what I mean? Go to him and say, "Hey, we got nothing at stake." Like, do not send him down for the rest of this year. You know what I mean?
It
Like,
wouldn't be this year.
that
No,
would
no,
be
definitely not.
that would be bad. And like I didn't think that they would, but I'm just saying, let him play every day, let him figure it out, and if he can't figure it out, then again, it's about collecting data for next year or whenever we play baseball again.
Yeah, no, definitely not for this year. My hypothetical there was, say he starts off next April batting 180. And it's like, all right, we kind of have to maybe mix something up here. But Dan, what do you think?
I like that Robert is. I thought they should have traded him, but the fact that he's still here, I think it would just make a ton of sense to just opt in, take him for next year. If you do find yourself in a position where you want to trade him, then sure. But like you said, that's a great insurance policy. Ewing, I still like you. I'm not worried about Ewing long term. I think the skill set that he does have is just again really good bat to ball. Speed doesn't slump. The defense is great. I do think overall he'll still be maybe not as good as he was to initially start his career, where he looked like he was going to be another star, but he does look like he has all the tools to at least be a very solid major league player. If that happens right away, we'll see. Robert's definitely a good fallback. We've seen it when he's out on the field, he's good. We know we don't have to worry about Luis Robert production wise. It's just a matter if he can stay on the field.
Let's talk about the Dodger situation, like very loosely, because the story's not fully out there. I feel like the baseball reporters are intentionally kind of ignoring it. The Dodgers front office could be in some legal trouble with their finances. There's some kind of weird stories out there right now. Dan, I want to ask you this to kind of tie it into the Mets. Do we think these reports increase the chances that Skubal's a Met, or there's no kind of correlation? How do you feel about these weird Dodger finance reports and Tarek Skubal to the Mets?
I mean, yeah, if there's even any truth to it, then especially when you look at what they are, they're giving guys deferred contracts and they're saying, "Oh, that money will be there for you down the road," and it might not be there for them down the road. So that could definitely push a guy away. Specifically, like the baseball reporters. I'm completely speculating here. I know when I got into sports journalism, I want to talk about the sports side. This stuff is way above the stuff I understand. So maybe they're waiting to see like these other people kind of what info comes out of this before they really dive in.
Yeah.
Complete guess, I don't know. But again, if there's any truth to that, then yeah, if you're looking at the way they structure their contracts, they basically everyone's like, all right, we'll give you some up front and the rest of the money will be there for you when you retire. And if there's even some doubt about that, then yeah, it's hard to look at them. It's like, yeah, I'll take that same format of a contract. And then unrelated to that part, I saw a good tweet today with his career highs for pitches thrown in a game. And in I think he's had like three of his top five games were as Dodgers. And I saw a tweet that was like, yeah, they're basically using him like a rented car. Like they're just gonna get everything they can and be like, all right, now we're done with it. So
And they've
I
done
would
that
not be,
before. They've made like
yeah.
big trades and they have not re-signed that big player. But kind of more to that point, Dan, and Frank, I'll throw it to you first, see how you feel. I mean, I'm obviously happy and excited if the Mets signed Tarek Skubal, but
Mhm.
he had this mystery experimental elbow surgery. He's coming back here. To Dan's point, he's throwing 100 plus pitches in all these games for the Dodgers. I'm not super excited about giving him a 10-year deal. Like I said, it happens. There's no chance I'm upset about it. But like,
Mhm.
I'm concerned.
This is the problem that the Mets find themselves in. David Stearns, more than anything, cannot get this wrong. He can't get this wrong. To the point where, and I've been probably, I know his biggest critic on this show, but probably one of his biggest critics just in general, where it's not fair to him. What I'm saying is not fair, but this is how he's going to be held in regard. If he signs Skubal and he's bad, it's his fault. And if he doesn't sign Skubal and he's good, it's his fault. They kind of have to, and it's kind of unfair. Like it's completely unfair. But he's gotten the pitching wrong so frequently now that he's got to find a start. He's got to find a rely. He's got to bring in a reliable starting pitcher for more than one season worth of upside, and that's just that. It's clearly not working what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
Mania bouncing back looks really good for him now. It definitely felt like that was probably one of the worst moves that he made, which is now becoming a pretty good move. He
Mhm.
just had one bad season. But I mean, we still have him for one more, so we'll see what happens next year. But he just has not hit on the pitching, and he needs to hit on the pitching. And so if he signs Skubal and he's bad, people are going to be up in arms. How did you not know about the elbow surgery? It's going to be really easy
Yeah.
to pick at him either way. But I think you have to. I just you need to bring in a guy who's no question an ace, and there's not that doesn't exist anymore. Like you could tell me like, oh, it's Paul Skeens, It's like no, it's not. We see that this year. Jacob Mizorowski's pitching great, but it'll come around. Like he's gonna have a bad season eventually. So it's like they have to hope that Scubal's the guy, and they do have to give him the big contract. I don't see another way.
Yeah, we talked about it countless times this past offseason, how much pressure was under David Stearns to get this right. It obviously did not. Multiply that by 1,000 this offseason. This is, like you're saying, if they miss the playoffs in 27, this is it. No
He's
question
done.
about it. Like this is Stearns at the minimum has to make the playoffs to keep his job. So infinite pressure. But Dan, with Skubal, are you just like
Mhm.
blank check, elbow, whatever? Like how do you feel?
Kind of, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
the way I look at it, it's like, how bad is a bad Tarek Skubal? Like, if you go get him next year and he gives you like a 3.3 ERA over 160 innings, that helps this team so much compared to what they've had.
I think it's more so he blows out his
If
elbow
he's,
when he's not there.
Mhm. Yeah, I guess, and that's everyone
But
comes with their own injury
anyone can
risk.
for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly. Like, again, like how many guys did they sign? There's like, oh, it looked like it could work. Like Griffin Canning, they signed him, and it's like, oh, this is a weird move, but it worked until one step in the wrong direction, his leg's gone, season's over, and obviously there's more risk with Skubal because he just had the surgery. But I mean, that's every pitcher. You kind of have to just weigh your risks and move on. Realistically, I don't see enough for them to be like, oh, maybe we shouldn't do this. I just feel like that exactly what they need is someone at the front of the rotation.
Mark, I'll ask you this. How many times is a two-time Cy Young winner at Scubal's age available in free agency?
Not often.
It doesn't happen
Mm,
frequently. So it's just you got to jump at
yeah.
it and you got to just cross your fingers and pray because
He
that is
Yeah.
starting pitching in the MLB to a T though. Like
Mhm.
literally every starter pitcher in the MLB you're worried about staying healthy, you know what I mean? That's the old adage, you never have enough starting pitching.
Mhm.
I'm ready.
He had
Like
elbow surgery and missed 1 month because he had this experimental Skubal scope done. And listen, I'm not a doctor. Who the heck knows? Maybe this is like the new advancement in medicine. It's going to go perfect and he's going to be 10 years healthy. But for me, that is a lot of risk to take on. And honestly, the Mets might be competing with themselves here. It might be the Mets are the only serious team at the table here. Maybe it's a 7-year deal for stupid AAV. I'd prefer a smaller year contract with
Mhm.
a higher AAV, of course. But who knows? Boris and Skubal are going to want to break all the records.
Plus, I think one thing that's important for him too, now that he's gotten traded, There's no qualifying offer. You're getting him strictly for money. You don't have to give
Yeah.
up anything else, no players, no draft picks, no anything. You just have to pony up the cash. And with where the Mets are at with their owner, I feel like that just you take that risk.
And lastly, here, Frank, we'll start with you first. I feel like you were the most excited here. I think we were premature having too much fun with Kodai Senga, the closer, the experience. His last three appearances, really rocky. A lot of base runners. Left the walk-off home run on Sunday to Tristan Peters. It feels like an adventure still every time he's on the mound. Every guy feels like it's a 2-0, 3-1 count. He's trying to battle back. I just think maybe we kind of jumped the gun a little bit too early on Senga.
He's got 6 to 8 weeks. I don't know how many weeks are left in the
Hmm.
baseball season. He's got 6 to 8 weeks to figure it out.
Yeah, like
Like
5 or 6 weeks. Yep.
Hmm.
that's the thing. Like we don't these games don't matter. We're 12 games over 500. I mean under 500, excuse me. Like these games do not matter. So maybe he gives up a run every time he goes out there for the rest of the season. Doesn't literally does not matter. So just keep pitching him, just keep letting him go. We've seen more good than bad to this point. So I'm going to assume that he can figure out the good again. He doesn't pitch. He hasn't pitched like this in a really long time, since he was in Japan. You know what I mean? He hasn't pitched this frequently, this short of run. So let's just give him a second, especially on a team that again is like 12 games under
Hmm.
right now. I don't know what the actual record is. I keep saying 12 because that just feels right, but I know it's bouncing around that, right? Like let's just let him finish the season as a high leverage reliever. Even if Dev does come back and they want to make him like the closer again, like give Kodai big innings late in games frequently, and let's see what we got because we owe him $15 million or something like that next year. And I'd rather have him pitching in our bullpen, even if it's not the closer role, and seeing if he could be a high leverage reliever rather than just DFA him. You know?
Yeah, no, that's still the plan. I still think if he has any value, it is in a bullpen role. I don't think he should start for us again. Dan, you made a joke a few weeks ago saying we have our new Edwin Diaz because, like, I don't think you meant it the way I'm thinking of it, but like shaky Edwin when he was
Yeah,
walking
that's
everyone wild, you had no idea what you were getting any given night. That's how I feel right now with Kodai, but how do you feel here?
I think it's still too early either way to really be definitive one way or another. Like we looked at him and was like, oh, this guy has the stuff. It could play up as a reliever. We saw a short stretch where it did. We've seen a short stretch where it didn't. And like we said, Edwin Diaz was one of the best in the league, and we still saw games like this. Today, no, I don't want to be too harsh. It was his first time ever going back-to-back days.
Sure.
That the fact that he did it and wasn't like throwing wild pitches left and right. Yeah, he gave up a bomb. Didn't think it was a terrible pitch, side note, but the fact that he went out there and he was able to work back-to-back days, it's good to see that he can physically do that. So that's something encouraging. But again, overall, still think he has the stuff that he could play up and be a solid reliever, but I don't think anyone could have expected him to step in, be Mariano, and just be lights out every time out.
I was pretty surprised to actually see him pitch the back-to-back because he pitched like
Mhm.
25 pitches yesterday. He had two base runners. He was working with traffic. So I was like, all right, this probably isn't the best time to bring him in, but they did. They
Yeah.
gave it a whirl. They wound up tying the game in the top of the ninth. So I think they were just like, all right, let's give it a shot. And Kodai let up the walk-off home run. But yeah, we got to see, like you said, really small sample. I think we kind of got tricked a little bit because the first three appearances were so good that it was like, okay, we
Mhm.
actually have something really special here. And then it kind of maybe went back to where we're supposed to be. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's life as a reliever.
All right, talking about last week's predictions now, our three props. Number one, Nolan McLean, 4.5 runs. Dan Frank took the under, I took the over. Nolan up 1 run. We made the jokes here that he let up like, I don't know,
Hmm.
9 base runners in that game on Tuesday, but there was three outfield assists, two from Carson Benge, one from AJ Ewing. It was just kind of out of control, but Nolan McLean, really good week. Prop number two, AJ Ewing, 4.5 hits. Dan and Frank took the over. I took the under. AJ had 4 hits. And prop number three, Christopher Morel, 1.5 starts. We all took the over, and he had 2 starts. I guess it's strictly a platoon situation here because he played against the two lefties. He had one at bat in the game on Sunday. It was immediately pinch hit for once the lefty was out of the game. So I guess Christopher Morel is being used as our lefty
Mhm.
masher.
See
Yeah,
what
you
we
said it.
got. We got about 6 to 8 weeks left here in the baseball season. Let's see what we got with Chris Morel.
We're gonna have Frank on a loop saying that. We'll see what we got. 6 to 8 weeks left.
Yeah.
That's
Frank,
the
But
entire
yeah.
episode. It's
Frank, it's
just that.
September 20th. Yeah, 6 to 8 weeks left.
But yeah, you said it last week when we went into that prediction. It's like, oh, we're facing two lefty starters this week. So it just made too much sense. Like, if you're going to bring them up here, you're going to start them against lefties.
The week ahead, let's take a look. 6 games at home with the Brewers and the Astros. Prop number one, Luis Robert, red hot. Throw it to you first here, Frank. Luis Robert, 4.5 hits in the
Under.
6 games. Okay. I didn't even get to finish saying it. Luis Robert, 4.5 hits in the 6 games this week. You're gonna take the under? You said under. You kind of have to.
Nah, I have to take that under.
Stand
Yeah.
by
Can't
that.
stop now. There was no new information after that. You
You
kind of
know,
have to stick to it.
it's just that I look at our record and I see that we're still about 12 games under. No one's confirmed the exact record that we have so far, so I'm just gonna keep going with 12 until someone tells
All
me
right, let me
otherwise.
pull it up
I
because
thought
you
it was
keep
like
saying it.
16, but
It's not 16 anymore. They were playing better.
No, they were like
yeah.
they got to
They're
11 at one
13
point.
under. They're
Okay.
59-72.
Okay,
All right,
okay.
I was right
Oh, you're
there.
closer than me.
All right, so 13 games under. We're still a 13 games under team. You can't be taking overs for a
And
13
Luis
game
Robert
under.
on a 13 under team
Yeah,
cannot get 5 hits.
that's actually where he feels home. Like that, like we know
Mhm.
he does his best work when the team is like awful. He played for the
Mhm.
White Sox. They were the worst team in baseball until he came to us, and then we became the worst team in baseball. I'm not saying it's him, but it could be him. Either way, he's bound to cool off, and I'll take the gamble that he's going to cool off.
It was kind of fun that he had a really good weekend in Chicago and hit a home run off Brosban. That was kind of fun.
That
But
was
Dan,
that was cool.
Dan, 4.5 hits for Luis Robert this week.
Do we have a 4 game set or is it six again? Six for the
It's
week.
six. Three with the Brewers, three with the Astros.
Just guessing who's pitching for Milwaukee. I want to take the under. Like we we know how talented Robert is, but like batting average is not exactly his strength. But I say this, watch them throw a couple lefties and him just rack up like a 3 hit game, then like a 2 hit game the next day against two lefties. But no, I'm gonna take the under for now because I feel like Mizraowski is probably just looming.
It looks like Mizraowski does get game three, so that will probably be an O for him. But I'll take the over here. 4.5 hits. He's red hot. I'm not afraid of any Astros pitcher. I don't think. I mean, Hunter Brown's pretty good, but I don't think I'm terrified of him. Luis Robert gets 5 hits in 6 games. He's hot right now. I'll take the over. Prop number two, Dan, you're first here. Zach Thornton in his start versus the Brewers on Tuesday. 15 and a half outs. So you take the over there. You're saying
Mm.
he gets an out in the sixth inning.
I feel like I'm breaking character. I'm gonna take the under. I feel like they were on him in that game in Milwaukee. I can see him going 5 and just being like, all
Yeah.
right, you did your job, but that's just again, they're just such a deep lineup that even when he did do well against them, they were on him. So it's nothing against Thornton specifically. I'm very high on the Brewers as a whole.
No, for sure. The Brewers are probably the best team in the National League right now, if not the Dodgers, of course. But I'll take the over here. I don't feel amazing about it. I made it 15 and a half because I can see him getting like one out, like facing a lefty
Mhm.
to finish the top of the sixth in that scenario. He goes out and gets like Bryce Terang or whoever the lefty is there, or Jake Bowers, and then he gets pulled for the righty. So
Mhm.
I'll take the over. But yeah, you can't feel great about our soft tossing lefty versus the Brewers. But Frank, Zach Thornton, 15 and a half outs. What do you think?
I'm taking the over. I think Dan specifically dislikes Zach Thornton, despite what he. No, I'm kidding. But no, I'm taking the over. Vibes. That's it. We're in that vibes part of the season. The Brewers are deep, but Zach Thornton's been really great at points this season, so maybe he does it again. I'd say there's probably about a 50-50 chance, which is why this is a great number.
And prop number three, 2.5 wins. We usually do 3.5. 2.5 wins in the 6 games. Essentially, do we go 500 this week? Do we go under? How do we think? We know the Brewers are amazing. Astros aren't incredible, but they're a playoff team right now. I'm going to take the over. Don't feel amazing about this one, but I think we maybe win one game against the Brewers, and then we can take two after from the Astros. I feel okay about that. All right, Frank, 2.5 wins. What do you think?
This is a tough under to take as someone who historically takes the under and the win totals, especially. We are a 13 under team, now confirmed to be 13 under. And we're going to do what 13 under teams do and not look very good this week. So I will take the under.
And we have like 6 to 8 weeks to watch and
We
figure this
have
out.
like 6 to 8 weeks to figure out what's going on. Yeah, there you go. You're getting it.
Dan, do you dare take the under at 2.5 wins? Maybe your first under on a win total ever.
Yeah, this is a weird week for me. I feel like I have to take the under. Like,
Dan, you can't
but
take the under.
Don't influence him, Frank.
Sorry, you're right.
yeah.
You're right. You're right. You're right. I'm sorry. I
Diminishing,
apologize.
why not? Like you said, the Astros, they're not a scary team, but they're a team that even though I think they're a game under 500, they have a playoff spot right now. They're playing for something. They do have an ace in Hunter Brown. The Brewers, I never feel confident taking anything from the Brewers. I don't be like, oh yeah, we'll definitely get a game from them because like I said in the last one, they can beat you in so many ways. I hate this week. I just took 3 unders, but
We do
yeah.
get, it'll make you feel better hearing this. We do get Kyle Harrison Tuesday and Mizorowski Thursday. So it's going to be tough.
All right.
One of your unders was a good under, though, right? One of the first under we wanted to take the under,
Now, that
right?
was Luis
I
Robert
took
hit.
3 bad stats.
Oh, never mind. We took three
And
bad ones. Okay.
Dan hates Mets baseball this week.
It,
Wow.
it would be a great week for you guys to catch up. I would not be disappointed at all.
We'll end it there. Let's go Mets.
Go Mets.
LGM.